Hi, so today I wanted to talk about B, which is identify and explain a cultural value or belief you were unaware of until recently. Where does it stem from? What does it mean to you? How and in what ways does it influence or impact you? Why were you unaware of it? So I was thinking about one of the lessons we did a while back about disability and disability culture and how within the intercultural communications book and within a TED Talk you show us, I realized that a lot of people, like disability culture is a culture you have to accept almost into your life, unless you were born disabled. But again, it's a culture that um, you don't necessarily just get put into. So in the reading, it said along the lines that if someone is to become disabled, they have to mentally accept their disability and cope with that before they are considered in the disability culture. Whereas people who are born with the disability usually grow up within this culture. People who like recently became disabled, such as became deaf or became quadriplegic or have some kind of thing like that, they have to learn the disability culture and like learn how to live within that. I feel like this influences me because I am losing my hearing, and while that is deaf culture, it is also technically disability culture. And I never really would have thought about it like that until our reading, how it said it includes basically anybody with a handicap or disability. So I feel like that is good for me to kind of know and accept the multiple cultures that I will be a part of. Um, where does it? Oh, sorry, I was reading the wrong thing. I just think that's really important, especially within special education too. A lot of my students, well, all of my students usually will have a disability of some kind. And so I think it's important to be aware of this disability culture and how it can affect somebody in somebody's life. If somebody is in denial of their disability, this can cause like a prolonged problem and a feeling of not belonging, and such. So I think it's really important to kind of foster that in students and kind of maybe somehow bring about saying that they are part of a culture with other people with disabilities, like they're not on their own. So I just really appreciated like learning that recently and knowing that that is a culture that even if you're thrown into it, you technically can't acknowledge and exist within your culture until you accept that in yourself. Um, and yeah, I thought that was really important for me to learn with my future career and with myself. And I really liked the whole chapter. It's chapter 4 in intercultural communications, living in a multicultural world, and which is my good leg. Cultural communications of people with disabilities, I believe is the full title. This whole chapter just explaining like the correct way to interact with people with disabilities and how their culture might be different, and the fact that some people may not even realize they're in this culture. I think that was just very good for me to figure out, especially for my major and myself. So yeah, and that is it.